Lunch break. I'm going to turn down the lights. Hey, Bill, what's up, everyone? Turn down the lights. Is that okay? Hi! It's been such a busy, great day. I got to teach Hubbard Street today and BalletX. We shared a class. It was so much fun. And I got a little verklempt at the end and, started tearing up because it's just never in my life did I think I'd be teaching Hubbard Street and BalletX. So here she comes, Francesca. Dun, 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 dun. Here she comes, right? I think it's going to work. So excited. These lunch interviews. Here we go. Where is she? Come on in, Francesca. Add. Oh, she's unable to join. Why is she unable to join? Francesca, try one more time. Let's see if we can get it happening. Okay, let's see. View, Francesca. There we go. Add. It's going to be one of those days. All right, I'm waiting for Francesca. So these lunch interviews.
There we go.
Yes, the beauty, the one and only. Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I was like, I don't know how to fix it.
How are you, Francesca?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks. Did you take class this morning? Were you
I
there?
did. I know it's hard to see. There's so many people in those classes, but it's great.
Yeah. So tell the audience what we did today.
So on Monday and also today, we took class with Hubbard Street, and it's kind of open to the public, I believe, too. They do it on Instagram and Facebook, and so it was really cool. We got to take class with all of those dancers and anyone else who was able to join. Christine taught. She taught a great class, and we just powered through. It's an interesting situation, but it's something great because we can take class with dancers we never get to take class with. So
yeah, it was so fun. So this lunch break is a chance for us or our friends and family and awesome community about get to know our dancers better. And so, can you tell us when you started dancing and do you remember, why did you start dancing? What was it that brought you into the studio?
So my aunt owns a dance studio in Harlan, New Jersey. So I started very young. I think I was not even quite 3. I remember, I think like my first recital was like Tutus in Pink or something like that, Pretty in Pink. And I remember my cousin said, "But you're beautiful in blue too." I don't know why. I don't know why. But so my aunt has a studio, and she had all sons, and I was her niece, and she was like, "You're gonna dance." So I didn't really have that much of a choice in the beginning, but over time, like I remember having like a clear thought. I was around 9 years old. I was in a ballet class, and I was like, you know what? I really like this. And from like that moment on, it was more for me than anyone else. And I don't even know what made that light bulb go off, but I think it was getting my splits actually. The moment I got my splits, I was like, oh, I think I can do this, So so that's what got me started into dancing. That's it.
And what did you do in high school? Like, how did you manage high school and, developing into a professional dancer? Talk us a little bit through your journey there.
So I left home at 16 after going to the Houston Ballet Summer Intensive. I was offered a contract with HB2, their second company, and I had contemplated staying for year-round for the school, and it was kind of something I was playing with just because I felt young. It was difficult to leave home, but I had like the full support of my parents. And I decided that as soon as I got the contract, I was like, well, this would be stupid to turn down. And I'm so glad that I didn't, just because it was it taught me how to be professional. It was like a very grueling program that taught me a lot of discipline as to how to be a professional. And I was homeschooling at the time already because I had already made the choice that I wanted to be a professional. And I thought that by homeschooling, I could focus more on, I was lucky to have New York so close. So I would wake up in the morning, go and take class with Nancy Belsky in New York, and then come home and do some schooling, then go to my dance studio, my ballet studio that I was training at in Princeton. And I would do that, and then I would come home and do more schoolwork at night. So I had switched over to homeschooling in my sophomore year of high school. Sophomore year. And so I had already started doing that. And then at Houston, we had a study hall. Mm-hmm. And so that was like after we would dance like 9 in the morning until sometimes if we were dancing, working with the company, it would be until 10 p.m. Sometimes we had to be at the theater. So anytime that we weren't at the theater, we would have study hall and try and maintain some focus there and some self-discipline with my schooling. It took me a little longer to finish high school than it should have, but I got it done.
It's so much hard work to be a dancer happens in your living room or happens without someone there watching or acknowledging the work. Can you give any advice? What drove you? What was the carrot in front that just kept you pushing? Was it the hope that you would be a professional dancer? Was it your own, integrity and sense of commitment? Tell us a little bit about that.
I think it was, I had a goal, I'm very goal orientated and very naturally disciplined, self-disciplined. So I think for me, it was just I had my mindset on the goal of getting into a company, having a dance career. It was something I really wanted. And because of that, once my mind's set to something, I can accomplish it. So I think it was just that determination that really just backed everything up.
Do you think getting that split at age 9 helped you feel like you could accomplish that?
Maybe, I know it took me until I was 9 years old to get my splits, but I made it there.
Yeah, it takes a lot to torture your ballet. Your body and rip open your joints. Yeah, it's really interesting. So your first contract, can you talk us through the audition? And your mom's on the line. Hello, I love you. Tell us a little bit about, your first audition and getting your first job, and what was it like?
So I kind of view my okay, so I had 4 years in a studio company. So that was I kind of view that as more of a transition. Yeah, I was a contracted dancer, but I feel like studio companies are more, especially now, it's more the stepping stone between the school and being in a main company. So that was in itself, I was still very young. It was very exciting, but again, I was still learning. I was still learning how to develop into being a professional. So really BalletX is my first professional contract. I feel that's how I see it. So I'm very grateful, Christine.
So tell them about your audition. I'll never forget. Well, I'll tell them a little bit about your audition, and then you can tell them.
So I was finishing up my second year with the studio company in Washington Ballet with Septime Weber. And really you only stay 2 years in a studio company, usually, or at least at the time I was in it. So I was auditioning for companies in my second year, trying to get a job, and I auditioned for BalletX in their cattle call audition, as we like to call the audition. That's it's a very big audition. We're up to 150, 200 people at these auditions now. And I auditioned in March, and I made it through the end, and I went up to Christine and Tara and Matt, and I was like, thank you very much. And they said, you can smile sometimes. They were like, why are you so serious? And I felt like I made a good impression, but they told me, thank you very much. We don't have any contracts available at the time. So I had gotten a job during that audition season with a small company out in Los Angeles. So I went there out in the summer, and Christine called me in August because a dancer was leaving all of a sudden, and she had a job for me. So she called at me at 6 a.m. California time, because she didn't know that I was in California. I saw this number from Pennsylvania. I'm like, who is calling me at 6 a.m.? And I saw a voicemail. I picked up the voicemail. I didn't even finish the voicemail. I threw the phone up in the air, and I called her right back. And I was like, hello? So, and she offered me a job, and the rest is history. I've been with BalletX since September 2013.
Wow, that's amazing. 7 years.
Yeah.
So what do you like being in a professional dance company? I mean, now I'm putting you on the spot.
No, Christine, I hate it.
What is it that you like, what is it that you enjoy about being in a professional dance company, or with BalletX? Not to tote BalletX, but just like give people a little window into what it's like to be in a ballet company.
I mean, for me, especially with BalletX, it's all about it's a family. Like it's such a family environment. And for me, it doesn't feel like work. I mean, it's kind of like the best part is that I mean, yeah, sometimes there's like, some harder things to do, and, but it's just so natural. It's so comfortable. And but like at the same time, you're striving towards something, not only for yourself, but also with your friends and with your coworkers. And, so I really love like the camaraderie. I love working towards presenting something to the community. But yeah, I don't know. I like creating we get a lot of opportunity to create new things, which is unique, especially to BalletX, I feel. So yeah, those are 3 big points for me.
So we've worked on like really complicated things, right? That we've talked about. Yeah. Like not your normal things. I'm just an odd director anyway. I'm not gonna, yes, I like to think about turnout, completing a nice double pirouette and finishing it strong. But we've like talked about opening up your soul and like such a beautiful person inside and out. Those were really deep conversations. And you took every, complex conversation and you listen, and then you'd go apply. Talk about your process of hearing, complex feedback and taking it and really being able to shift from being just a beautiful person that you can look at to an artist that really melts the audience's soul.
Okay, so so Christine worked a lot with me on, like she said, developing my artistry. I joined the company when I was 20. So I feel like I had a lot of still learning and growing to do. Not that I don't now as well. Like there's always growth, but artistically, it wasn't. I wasn't mature enough, or not mature. I don't know. I had to do a lot of digging, and for me, it came from more experience, like more life experiences, really like actually looking inside myself. And like when Christine gives me feedback, I'm naturally, I think it comes from being like a people pleaser. I don't even know. I'm definitely, so I do everything I can. Like even if, say there's like someone saying one thing and another person saying another thing, I'll try and find like a way to mold like both corrections into something that appeases both parties. So that's kind of just how I operate when it comes to criticism. And I don't really I mean, there's a certain way that if it's like yelled at me, I'll shy away from it, but it's never really like that. It's always constructive criticism. So
yeah. I mean, I found that, you know, it was always challenging giving you feedback because you're so present and you work so hard and you're always growing and evolving. And so I'd search for these things to say, you know, I want to feel it when you're moving. I want to feel it more than just see it. I want to feel it. And then, you know, throughout this 1 year, you took me like on this journey, soulfully, artistically. You know, you were not just a beautiful person moving in front of us. You became this messenger of experiences. So that was pretty awesome. You're frozen in my thing. There, move around.
Thank you.
There you what is the most challenging thing about being a professional dancer?
I mean, it is that self-motivation for sure. You know, it's like something that you know, I strive to do and to be and to inspire, but it's also the most challenging. It's like the same side of the coin, you know? So yeah, I mean, definitely it's the self-motivation, especially now, you know, in this current new situation. It's a whole new game of self-motivation.
Jeez, right?
Yeah, we're redefining.
What's the best part about being a professional dancer for you?
The stage.
Yeah.
I love to perform. It's like I don't know. It never even if it's like even if I'm feeling like, oh, I'm not really feeling it. It's the second I step on stage, I'm like, nope, never mind. It's I love it, you know. It's you know. So yeah, it's definitely going out on the stage, like just performing. It's a culmination of everything. And it's ironic because when I was younger, I didn't feel that way. I felt like I was more of a class dancer. But as I've gotten older, it's all about performing.
Yeah, yeah. What are some of your fun routines? I think we're similar in that we were a little bit superstitious in certain ways. Or you have some routines, don't you? Can you share
I
some?
do. I do. I always let's see, I have to set up my emergency like 15 minutes before I take emergency for like energy, like the packets. I put it into like a little bit of water. And it gives me energy, or I think it gives me energy before going on stage. And I'll drink like, depending on if it's like a triple bill, I'll drink like a third of it, or if it's a double bill, I'll drink half of it, depending on like where the intermissions lie. And I do it about 15 minutes before each piece. I do an electrolyte pill with that now. That's added on to there. We have our love circle. If we don't have love circle, sometimes when I did guesting, Nutcracker guesting with Zach and a former dancer Daniel, and I think Gary was there too. I was like, there's enough of us. We have to do a love circle before this Nutcracker guesting. So if that doesn't happen, I get superstitious. I feel, oh, and my mole. I have like a little tiny mole here. If you see, can you see it?
Yeah.
And I fill that in. And if that's not filled in, I feel like I have a bad show.
I used to put my left eyelash on, then my right. I had to put my left point shoe on, then my right. I would never put my point shoes on the makeup counter. If I did, I'd round 3 times to the left and I'd spit, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What would be a piece of advice you would give, you know, somebody who wanted to be a professional dancer, like who wasn't yet, but was striving to be?
A piece of advice that someone told me, actually, it was Sabrina Lenzi. She was my ballet mistress when I was in HB2. You know, it was at that time where I was auditioning and trying to find a job. And she told me that not to worry, there is a place in the dance world for everyone if you're lucky enough to find it. Because a lot, you know, so it's really just that persistence, that drive that you have to stick to. And if you can hold on to that, you can find your place if you're able to persist there's just, so that was like something really profound for me. And I really do feel like I found that place with BalletX, which is why, you know, it feels like a perfect puzzle piece fit for me.
Yeah, yeah, it has been. It's been an incredible 7 years working with you. I mean, you're such a dream dancer to have in the studio. And what you bring to a studio is positivity, hard work, energy, passion, commitment, and this weird word, neutrality. And why I say that? Like, to be neutral means you're really being you're serving the choreographer. We do all new work at BalletX, so you serve and you don't judge the choreographer with any kind of body language or facial expression. You give them the space to make work, and because creating new ballets is. And so anyway, I'm going on. It's such a pleasure, Francesca. I love you to the moon and back. Love the family. Sending you guys all my ballet.
Love.
What piece are you working on right now for BalletX in your home?
In my home. So we had a rehearsal. Our first rehearsal day was on Monday. And we had a kind of like a hangout at first with Rena Butler, who's choreographing a piece for us that was supposed to premiere in July. And we just she wanted to kind of get a gauge on our personalities just because we can only do it through the screen. So we were kind of meeting her for the first time, and we'll have more rehearsals with her building that piece. And yesterday I worked with fellow dancer Kylie Kwan on something that she's cooking up for you all to see. And yeah, so and then we're also going to be doing a little bit of Last Glass. Can I say that?
Yeah, well, we will. We've got a lot in store for everybody. We have a lot in store. Well, I see. Yeah. I'm so sweet. She's messaging. Mom, you done good. Francesca is.
Is she messaging?
Yeah, she's crying.
Oh, Mom.
Love you so much. All right, Francesca. God bless. See you.
Bye, Christine. Yeah, bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.